yeah. I shouldn't have gone away, so I'm coming back today. I'm walking back to happiness I threw away. Walking back to happiness with you. Said farewell to loneliness I knew. I laid aside foolish pride, learned the truth from tears I cried. Spread the news among the way, oh, yeah. On my blues is blown away, oh, yeah. I'm bringing you love so true, 'cause that's what I owe to you. Walking back to happiness I shared with you. Walking back to happiness with you. I said farewell to loneliness I knew. I laid aside foolish pride, learned the truth from tears I cried. Spread the news I'm on my way, oh, yeah. On my blues are blown away, oh, yeah. I'm bringing you love so true, 'cause that's what I owe to you. Walking back to happiness I shared with you. Walking back to happiness again. Walking back to happiness again.
Barrie, Algie!
My dear Ernest, what brings you to town?
Oh, pleasure, pleasure. What should bring on anyway? Eating again, I see, dear Algie.
I believe it is customary to have some light refreshment about 5 o'clock. Where have you been?
In the country.
What do you do there?
When one is in town, one amuses oneself. When one is in the country, one must amuse other people. It is excessively boring.
And what other people are these?
Oh, neighbours, neighbours.
You have nice neighbours in your area of Shropshire.
Perfectly horrid. Never speak to any of them.
Shropshire is your county, is it not?
Eh? Shropshire, yes, of course. Hello. Why all these cucumber sandwiches? And why all these cups? Such extravagance in one so young. Who else is coming to tea?
Oh, merely Aunt Augusta and Gwendolyn.
Ah, how perfectly delightful.
Yes, that is all very well, but I'm afraid Aunt Augusta won't quite approve of your being here.
May I ask why?
Dear boy, the way you flirt with Gwendolyn is positively disgraceful. It is almost as bad as the way Gwendolyn flirts with you.
But I am in love with Gwendolyn. I have come up to town expressly to propose to her.
I thought you said you'd come on pleasure. I call that business.
How utterly unromantic you are.
There's nothing romantic about proposal. It is very romantic to be in love. But proposing is a different matter. Why one may be accepted, one usually is, I believe, then the fact is over. If I ever get married, I'll certainly try to forget the fact.
Oh, I have no doubt about that, dear boy. The divorce court was specially invented for those people whose memories are so curiously constituted.
There's no use speculating on that. Divorces are made in heaven. Please do not touch the cucumber sandwiches. They are made specifically for Aunt Augusta.
Well, you've been eating them all the time.
That is quite a different matter. She is my aunt. Help yourself to some bread and butter. The bread and butter is for Gwendolyn. Gwendolyn is devoted to bread and butter.
Very good bread and butter it is too.
You need not act as if you were going to eat it all. You make it sound like you are married to her already. You are not married to her already, and I don't suppose you ever shall be.
May I ask why?
In the first case, girls don't marry the men that they flirt with. Girls don't find it proper.
Oh, that is nonsense.
It isn't. It accounts for the great many bachelors around. In the second place, I don't give my consent.
Your consent?
My dear boy, Gwendolyn is my first cousin, and before I can allow you to marry her, we shall have to clear out the matter of Cecily.
Cecily? What do you mean, Algy? I don't know anyone of the name of Cecily. I've never met anyone of the name of Cecily. I have never heard of anyone named Cecily.
Mr. Worthing, is this not the cigarette case that you left in the smoking room the last time you dined?
You mean to say that that has been here this whole time? I wish to goodness you had let me know. I have been writing frantic letters to Scotland Yard about it. I was very nearly offering a large reward.
Well, I wish you would. I happen to be more than unusually hard up for the month.
There's no point offering a large reward now that the thing is found.
I must say, I think that is very mean of you. However, upon examining it, I find that it isn't yours at all.
But of course it's mine. You've seen me with it over 100 times. And I must say you have no right to look inside. It is a very ungentlemanly thing to do, to read a man's private cigarette case.
Yes, but this isn't your cigarette case. This cigarette case is the gift from someone by the name of Cecily. And you told me you didn't know anyone of that name.
Well, if you must know, Cecily happens to be my aunt.
Your aunt?
Yes. Charming old lady she is too. Lives up at Tunbridge Wells.
Ah, as may be, but then why does she call herself Little Cecily? From Little Cecily, with fondest love.
My dear fellow, what is there in that? Some aunts are tall, some aunts are not so tall. That is surely a matter for an aunt to decide for herself.
Yes.
You seem to think that every aunt should be exactly like your aunt. That is absolutely absurd. Now please, hand me back my cigarette case.
Yes. But why does your aunt call you her uncle? I agree that an aunt may be any size, large or small. But why an aunt should call her a nephew her uncle is anyone's guess. From Little Cecily with fondest love to my dear Uncle Jack. Besides, your name isn't Jack at all. It is Earnest.
It is not Earnest. It is Jack.
You have always told me that your name was Earnest. I have introduced you to people as Earnest. You look like your name was Earnest. You're the most earnest-looking person I have ever met. Your business card says Mr. Earnest Worthing. I'll keep this as proof if you ever try to tell me or anyone else that your name is not Earnest.
My name is Earnest in town, and Jack in the country. And the cigarette case was given to me in the country.
Yes, but that still does not account for the fact that your small Aunt Cecily, who lives in Tunbridge Wells, refers to you as her uncle. Come on, old boy, you had better have the thing out at once.
My dear friend, you are beginning to sound like a dentist. It is a very vulgar thing to talk like a dentist, especially when one isn't a dentist. It creates a false impression.
Well, that is what dentists always do. Now, come on. Have it up. I may mention that I have suspected you of being a secret and confirmed Bunburyist, and I see no offer to the contrary.
Bunburyist? What on earth do you mean, Bunburyist?
I'll tell you the meaning behind that incomparable phrase if you can tell me why you are Earnest in town and Jack in the country.
Well, produce my cigarette case first.
Here you are. Now, produce my explanation, and pray make it improbable.
My dear boy, there is nothing improbable about my explanation at all. In fact, it's perfectly ordinary. When I was just a little boy, old Thomas Cardew adopted me. In his will, he made me guardian to his granddaughter, Miss Cecily Cardew. She, out of motives of respect, calls me uncle. Motives of which you could not possibly appreciate. and she lives up at my place, under the care of her admirable governess, Miss Prism.
Where in the country is that place, did you say?
That is nothing to you, dear boy. You won't be invited. I may say candidly that the place is not in Shropshire.
I expected as much. You see, I have Bunburyed all over Shropshire a half dozen times. Now come on, let's have it. Why are you Earnest in town and Jack in the country?
My dear fellow, I doubt you can understand my real motives, as you are hardly serious enough. But when one is placed in the position of guardian, one must adopt a very high moral tone on all subjects. It's one's duty to do so. But maintaining that high moral tone cannot conduce very much to one's health or one's happiness. So I've always pretended to have a younger brother of the name of Earnest, who lives up in the Albany, and who gets into the most dreadful scrapes. That, my dear boy, is the whole truth, pure and simple.
The truth is rarely pure and never simple. If it were, modern life would be a practical impossibility. Modern literature, completely impossible.
That wouldn't be at all a bad thing.
Literary criticism is not your forte, my dear fellow. Don't try it. It is much better left to those who have not been to a university. They do it so well in the morning papers. What you really are is a Bunburyist. I have always suspected you of being a Bunburyist. You are one of the most advanced Bunburyists I know.
What on earth do you mean?
You have invented for yourself a very clever younger brother by the name of Earnest, in order that you may be allowed to go down to town as often as you like. I have invented for myself an incurable invalid by the name of Bunbury, in order that I may travel to the country as often as I like. Bunbury is perfectly invaluable. If it wasn't for Bunbury, I wouldn't be able to dine with you at Wallace's tonight. For you see, I've been engaged to Aunt Augusta for over a week now.
But I haven't asked you to dine with me anyway tonight.
Dear me, I know, old boy. You are quite careless with invitations. Nothing irritates people so much as not receiving invitations.
You had better dine with your Aunt Augusta tonight. I am not a Bunburyist at all. If Gwendolen accepts my proposal, I will indeed kill my younger brother. Or I think I may kill him anyway. Cecily is becoming far too interested in him. It's rather a bore. And I do suggest that you do the same with your invalid... with your friend who has the absurd name. Good day to you, sir.